95 cave bugs. Alright, here goes nothing. 120 banshees. Yes, that will help. Excuse me, Mr. Turael? Sir, I was wondering if you could maybe... 200 cow fights! Wow. Anyways, see, I can only kill each creature spawn once. 700 ghosts!
Hey, cool. Do you have any advice?
First, don't die. That's the mistake the ghost made. As I was saying, most Slayer creatures don't really have that many spawns, and 1,000 rats.
So PvP?
No, the little furry rodents.
Yeah, so PvP.
Eats mostly cheese, lives in trash.
Yeah, so PvP.
So I guess I'm just asking to have a small task, not an easy one. Hey there, bud. Are you lost? Could I have a Slayer task? Oh, sure. You go kill one chicken, okay, champ? Do you have any advice? So, you want a small task, I have just the thing. Yes. Last episode, we got some crazy smithing levels from talking to a pasty nerd and a fat dwarf. Did a few basic Slayer tasks, and gained access to the fairy city of Xanaris. This episode, we'll be hitting the first huge roadblock of the account, launching us into another round of quests to get combat and prayer XP, and unlocking the biggest teleportation system in RuneScape. Alright, we've come back to the desert plateau where I just recently said there was nothing here besides a few bone and coin spawns and the Sitheraid Abbey and mine, but I was completely wrong. So just recently, about 6 months prior to me recording this in June of 2022, Jagex came out with a new quest called Sleeping Giant. I completely missed this announcement, but it has some huge implications for this account type. So let's get in there and get it started. So this is the Giant's Foundry, an old hill giant forge. We need to get all this equipment fixed up with the stuff in our inventory, and then we can get into how this is super awesome for my account. So fix this, and finally this thing. Now we can get some scrap metal from this barrel thing. Oh, what the hell? I thought this was all just scrap armor and weapons, but there's bars in here too. Alright, so it appears I don't have to use these bars for filling the crucible. Dang, man, we could have used these instead of killing thugs and knights for iron bar drops for the knight's sword quest. So instead of using these bars, which you can actually just, smith into items, we're going to fill the crucible with armor and weapon pieces to fill it. So any item that takes more than 1 bar to craft can be added to the crucible for half of its bar cost. So a scimitar that takes 2 bars to make gives 1 bar of material. I'm going to bank these bars and use any applicable armor and weapons I have to fill this thing up. I don't quite have enough material to not use the bars, and I'm unsure if I can leave or if the crucible will retain the material in it or show up with nothing upon re-entering. Okay, so it does stay in there. I think we'll go collect up or buy some bronze scrap we never need to use again and fill the rest. So I picked up a bronze scimitar from Remington and another one from Corsair's Cove, and then just bought the rest of what I needed from the Alcard Scimitar shop. Bronze scimitars are one of the few bronze items that have no use in clue scrolls or literally any other thing besides using it as a weapon. So I figured it would be best to clear those out first as our smelting stock instead of like bronze plate legs that I know are used for some clue scrolls. Now the crucible is full, and after we set the blade mold shape according to Korvac's criteria, we can pour the molten metal and retrieve our hot sword blink. I love how present Bailey is in the moment. Yes, I'm holding this red hot sword with my actual hands. Let's get it going, please. So now we play a mini game of sorts, trying to maintain the temperature of the sword while doing different finishing touches to it. So you need to match the color of the action to the temperature color. So hammering is the first step, which needs to be done while the sword is red hot. If it cools down too much, we need to heat it back up. If it's too hot for the next step, then we need to cool it off. It's really pretty simple, and before I was halfway done with the sword, I pretty much already had the minigame down. So as I'm sure you've noticed, as I make the sword with these different processes, I get a little bit of smithing experience, and now when the blade is complete, I can take it back to Korvac's and turn it in. And depending on the quality of the blade, determined by how exactly I did the processes, I'll get a much larger XP drop. And with that tutorial of Giant's Foundry, the quest is complete, and we get a nice 6,000 smithing XP, bringing us up to level 33, even though we've only ever smithed a bronze bar, a few silver bars, and like 2 pieces of jewelry. prior to discovering this quest, I really wasn't sure how I was going to level smithing. We need level 50 for Legends Quest and level 70 for Song of the Elves. Level 50 is about 5 times, and level 70 is about 17 times what we currently have in terms of XP. Without even researching it, I knew there wasn't enough ore rocks in the world to make up the remaining XP needed for either quest. There's about 30,000 smithing XP lying around as rewards for various quests, but at least half of those aren't accessible until we already have level 50 smithing or higher. There are ways to get ores that are renewable for me, however they are insanely slow. Now that we have access to the Giant's Foundry, this goal is a lot more achievable. Not only can I reuse armor I've smithed or gotten from drops or other random sources, but I can also use the reward points earned here to buy bags of ores or catalysts that cut down on coal costs. The ore bags still aren't really that great, but it is yet another way for me to fill in the gaps of this XP. Mark my words, by the end of this, smithing will be the big problem. I have no idea where we'll land once all the ores have been mined, the bars have been used up, and the quests have been completed, but I know it's a lot closer to the goal than I would have otherwise. Time to try our luck with another Wilby task. 94 Dark Warriors. Yeah, good one, Cristelia. Fuck you very much. Alright, and we reset our task with Turael again for 15 Ice Fiends. Okay, I like the low number. That probably means we can actually do this one. Oh, hell. I didn't even realize it, but this task is actually from hell. So, there are definitely more than 15 Ice Fiends in the world, however, only 11 of them exist on Ice Mountain, just south of the Black Knight's fortress. There are more of them in the God Wars dungeon. So here's the rub. I have to do this task. There is virtually no way around it. I can't reset the task again. Even if I could, I'm really trying not to do that so we can actually earn a few Slayer points. I can do Poor Sign of Interest, which would award me the 30 Slayer points I could use to cancel one task. But those points were meant for more of an oh shit button, a way to continue Slayer if a task was completely impossible. I can kill those 15 Ice Fiends. I just need to have access to the God Wars dungeon to do it. God Wars dungeon is locked behind the Troll Stronghold quest, as well as either 60 strength or agility, slightly lower with boosts. Without the ability to progress Slayer, my options for training strength are nearly non-existent, since I don't want to waste potential Slayer kills. So, unfortunately, it's looking like our only option is to train up our agility to level 60 to gain access. Once inside, we'll be surrounded by a literal war between NPCs of all different factions in a multi-combat zone, where we'll need to locate and kill 4 Ice Fiends. To do this safely, with our restricted combat levels, we're also going to need to level our prayer up to level 43 to have access to all overhead prayers so we actually have enough of a chance to make our kills. Can I get a yeesh? So with the need for defense and prayer levels, we're going to be focusing on doing a few quests that reward, you guessed it, defense and prayer levels. I'm going to be doing a few quests that reward attack XP as well, since we also need to get Primitive Trials done, and the fight with Koeshi will require a better attack level since we have to use unarmed melee. Alright, we are going to take a few steps towards building our level and survivability a bit before we get started on agility. I'm killing this giant bat for not only the Rag and Bone Man bat wing drop, but also for its general bat bones. We're going to use the bat bones for the Merlin's Crystal quest. Actually, they don't get used up in that quest, so we'll be using the same set of bat bones for yet another quest, but that's besides the point. Merlin's Crystal gives us a big fat nothing in terms of XP, but allows us to do the Holy Grail quest, which is actually named that for the Holy Grail of Prayer and Defense XP it drops upon completion. Grabbed and tagged the insect repellent from Catherby so I could collect up a bucket of wax from Merlin's Crystal. So we're in this box being transported to Prifddinas because I just completed Song of the Elves and killed... Nah, I'm just kidding. We're going to keep a Fae to almost but not entirely kill Sir Mordred. Can't really remember why, and y'all know I don't read quest dialogue, so just know we gotta kill this guy. Now, Mordred's mom stops us and says we don't need McVengeance, we have vengeance at home, and reveals the secret of releasing Merlin from the crystal. Over here at Taverley, asking the Lady of the Lake if we can borrow Excalibur real quick, but she's like, nah fam, ace this test first. So we go to where she said in Port Sarim and, ooh look, a mysterious beggar, and we just happen to have some bread. Oh wow, look, it's the Lady of the Lake. What a good test. Yeah, I'll take my free Excalibur now. Check this Chaos Altar for the secret words. This all seems really disjointed, but this random stuff is what she told me to do, so, you know, ticking off the boxes. Now we turn our cat in for another 200 death runes. Pretty sure she said to do that. New kitten, who dis? Ooh, almost missed the recording. So I dropped our candle and bat bones and spawned the spirit. I've said the incantation and I can now ask for a wish? Bro, fuck Merlin's crystal. Ask for max cape and stats. We'll 1nDone this the easy way. I guess I still just wanted Merlin's crystal broken. Shame. And Heisenberg is free. Merlin's crystal complete. So no time to wait. Let's go ahead and get started on the Holy Grail quest. We're tracking down the pieces of the mystery of the Fisher King realm. Just had to ask this Intrana priest about the Fisher realm, and we are off to the next bit. Alright, we popped over to this old house between the Dwarf Canyon quest and McGruber's Woods to grab a holy napkin from Sir Galahad. While I'm in this area, I'm going to complete the fishing contest quest too, since I have a few trips to make that would be better done through White Wolf Mountain rather than another way. I'm right next door in McGruber's Wood to grab some red vine worms for the fishing contest. I'm grabbing a few extra because I think I need 1 or 2 for later quests, so why not? Not marking this tile though. Like fishing, lots of worms in the dirt. Here we are at Hemminster where the fishing contest is. Our only other competition is this vampire, so we're gonna stuff some garlic in these pipes to deter him from fishing next to the Hemminster radioactive waste outlet where the fish here are huge mutants. Turned in our weird blue fish and we got the trophy. We won! Woo! Everybody clapped. So I realized there was this one willow tree here and I'm not sure we can get back into this area after the quest, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop it down now. 1 log. Wonderful. Fishing contest complete for a few thousand fishing XP and White Wolf Tunnel access. Level 38 fishing. I was grabbing these Dwarven Stouts because, you know, why not? Free beer. But I realized there's a shop down here I'd forgotten about. So this guy sells crossbow limbs and stocks up to mahogany and mithril. This is only a little, but free fletching XP that we don't need to use resources to utilize. So I'm eventually going to go and buy all these, but for now I just went ahead and bought all the stocks up to oak and the limbs up to iron. Anytime I can trade GP for XP, I'll likely be doing that. Plenty of people have said just use shops, but I like the idea of only 1 inventory of shop stocks for this exact reason. If I've cut down all the teak trees, where is this guy getting more teak stocks from, Next step in the quest, we simply need to go into this room while holding the holy napkin. And now there are 2 magic whistles on the table, which we're going to take both of. And now with our magic whistles in hand, we're going to go under this watchtower thing at Karamja and blow the whistles to get into the Fisher realm. Now to actually get into the Fisher realm, we need to kill this level 127 Black Knight Titan. He's a big old boy, so we're going to have to resort to the age-old tactic of flinching. So if you don't know, flinching is just this: hitting an enemy and retreating past their range while waiting a few moments, then doing it over and over and over until you get the kill. So what's happening here is we're attacking and retreating faster than the enemy can retaliate. Then waiting so the full attack cycle of the enemy is complete, so when we go back to hit them again, their attack animation is starting from the beginning and they're still unable to hit us before we retreat. Generally speaking, if you just wait for your own health bar to disappear, that's long enough to do this with basically any monster. But this guy's attack speed is so slow with his 2-hand sword, I can just keep on attacking and walking away and attacking and he still isn't fast enough to hit us. Alright, Black Knight Titan down. That kill took almost exactly 10 minutes. We talk to a fisherman here and he lets us know how to get into the castle. Now we're inside and we found the Fisher King, who is not doing so hot. So he lets us know he has a son who is supposed to succeed him and we need to go get him so he can rule over the Fisher realm in the Sick King's stead. In order to find the Fisher King's son, we're going to need this golden feather from King Arthur, but spoiler alert, I already know where he is. The future king is tied up in a sack inside of the goblin camp just north of Faldor. Hey, crazy stuff, he was actually where I said. So we give Sir Percival here one of our magic whistles, and he will meet us over at his dad's house. I got poisoned on the way in by scorpions on Karamja, or the spiders, doesn't really matter. I didn't bring any food though, so we're forced to eat some of these cabbages here to stay alive. However, the Fisher realm is all renewed and fresh, and I'm thinking that if I had harvested everything before coming back, my tiles would have been reset with the scenery, and we'd have been able to harvest everything again. I expect that there are different instances, so we were in one version of the realm before, which is a completely different in-game space than the version we're in now. That's a bit debatable though, so kinda glad I didn't, and we're just collecting stuff from this version. Man, I didn't realize this place had so many trees, crops, and sheep. I totally glossed over the fact that there are sheep here, so that's an extra pocket we can share up as well. Not only is the land new, but the castle is restored as well, so we just need to claim the Holy Grail and bring it back to Arthur to complete the quest. Holy Grail finished for 11,000 prayer and 15,000 defense, putting us at level 30 prayer and level 33 defense. Finally, at least some barely respectable combat stats. Don't look at range. Today is the first day of 2023, so I'm starting off the new year with some Sunnyside Fight Arena quest. This is yet another quest that gives a really hefty combat XP reward, and all the enemies can be safe spotted, so it's a no-brainer. The original idea for this account was to do Slayer for combat XP, doing quests that killed creatures that counted towards whatever task we were on, like Bouncer and Fight Arena. But with how badly we need combat levels for a quick Ice Fiend kill in the God Wars dungeon, that plan has been thrown out the window. I am trying to save quests that have Slayer applicable enemies, but the XP drop from this quest is just too good to postpone. So we need a beer for this quest to get the guard drunk, a very unique plotline in RuneScape. Ah, forgot my gold, hold on. Sold one of my COD for a few GP. Oh, we need a special beer, and we're 1 gold short, of course. Okay, we got the beer, and we'll shove it down this guy's face, and he will get drunk as fuck, and give us the cell keys, and now we can let the kid out of the cell. Are they gonna make him fight? Messed up. Timmy is right where we want him, in the way while we're fighting. Honestly, if I bring back a skeleton, I'm fine with that, so long as I get my XP. So yeah, we can safe spot every enemy in here because they've just killed so many. There's canyons of corpses and no one can climb over them, I guess. Next fight is the Scorpion, who never skips Arm Day. I would have loved to do this kill as part of a Slayer task and return later to do Bouncer for another, but all in all, it's not really that much XP lost. And now we have Bouncer, who's like the first Hellhound or something. I was saving this quest until we got a Dog Slayer task, since I believe Bouncer here counts for that, but we desperately need combat levels for surviving the God Wars dungeon and for doing Firminic Trials quest, which is yet another monumentally important quest for us for the quest that it unlocks. And our final fight, General Khazard himself. Now we don't actually have to kill him, we can just run out of the arena to finish the quest, but as I may have said a time or two, we need the XP from every single kill, so no skipping any fights we can stand to finish. I still have the Khazard armor. Well, we'll see if that can go in the Giant's Foundry sometime in the future, but I don't know if I can get back in here after the quest, even if I do have it, so I'm gonna quickly kill all the guards in here for the magic XP. We'll save the ones outside for now, just in case I need to do anything with a Khazard garb, but I'm pretty sure I don't. And level 37 magic, which unlocks Faldor Teleport for us. Oh hey, check it out, General Khazard is up here. I forgot he's what is called a Majorat, which is essentially an immortal being. Several are gods in RuneScape lore. I wonder if we can kill him again, because if we can, that is our endless training method right there. Ah man, that would have been sweet. And definitely not futile. Last guard dead in here, my levels are down, let's go get our XP reward. Quest complete for another 12,000 attack XP, putting us at level 41 attack. Nice. The notification got skipped, but we can now wield rune weapons. So iconic. Oh, and we also got level 31 thieving. Not nearly as iconic. It's time. Time to finally finish recruitment drive. Man, I really thought we could do this at a lower level, but no way. This seems like it's going a lot better. Recruitment drive done. 1,000 prayer, herb, and agility experience, giving us 10 herb lore, 16 agility, and a sick new helmet. Finally starting Priest in Peril quest. I meant to get this one done a lot earlier, but, you know, been pretty busy knocking out quests everywhere I go. Taking out the Temple Guardian. I think this guy counts as a dog too, so that would have been a nice Slayer kill. Did not need this much food.
Boy, have you lost your mind, cause I'll help you find it.
So the King tore us a new one, and we have to go fix our messes and bust our buddy out of jail. So we pop downstairs and kill one of these guys, and he drops a golden key. Now we're back down in the temple, and the monks were super slippery here. They hid the key to the cell where the golden key goes. I'm sure it was super inconspicuous. Alright, Drezzy D is free, and now the easiest vampire kill ever. Wonder if that would have counted for a Slayer task too. And now we finally get to drop off this essence I was carrying around for half the quest. Back with the second load, and the quest is done. Another 1,400 prayer XP, and weird, I'm still waiting on the prayer level we're gonna get, but we're able to start Nature Spirit before we get that, so yeah, start Nature Spirit. So I stowed the pies in the bank because we don't need them, and I'd rather sacrifice chickens or something. We're down here at the Nature Grotto to get through Nature Spirit. And of course we failed the bridge. 1 bowl and 1 mirror, so if I die of the gas or something stupid, it's all over. Alright, the ghost of Filman wants us to go figure out the specifics of how he can transform into a nature spirit. So I've sacrificed one of my precious silver bars to make a silver sickle, and we now need to ask Drezel to bless us so we can complete the nature spirit ceremony thing. Now that we've been blessed, we can do these fireworks to make swamp debris bloom, which is the last piece of the puzzle for Filman's ritual. Put a mushroom here, the bloom spell here, and we stand on the last one, and that's apparently the sacred ritual. Now we get to see the show. Ooh, the colors. So now Filman needs to bless our silver sickle, which, despite being in our inventory, we have no clue what it actually is. Sickle is blessed. Now we can finally fill our druid pouches with swamp trash and reveal the ghast, which we need to kill 3 of to finish the quest off. Ghast 1 killed, no drop. Ghast 2 down, and he dropped an iron mace. Interesting. Level 33 strength, and Ghast 3 dead, again with no drop. I'm just going to go ahead and record any of the ghast kills at the entrance to the swamp. Nature Spirit complete for 3000 crafting and 2000 HP and defense XP, but the real prize is what all this quest unlocks. You might think I mean the Mauritania questline, since a bunch of them depend on this, but what I really mean is that it's needed for starting our next quest, Fairy Tale Part 1. I thought I'd record this because it kind of blew my mind. So we killed 3 out of the 186 spawns here in the swamp. I never even considered ghast as a creature that I could kill, but there'll actually be some great XP and hopefully some good herb drops at least. True to my word, I'm starting Fairy Tale Quest. The story here is that the crops are acting weird, so I need to go around to different farmers and ask them what they think is the deal. So I popped around to different farming plots and got a bunch of bullshit and crackpot theories about what the cause is. Martin here seems to think the fairies are the cause as well, and we get to seem like we know some people and let them know we've talked to them before. Back in Xanaris, and yeah, I grew some rosemary. It's our first plant, no big deal. We got here to discover that the Fairy Queen has apparently been replaced by this greaseball fairy godfather who is saying the queen is sick. What can I do to help? Look, I just have a mild interest in this. I really only want access to your military-grade teleportation network. Forgot to record the last part. Wouldn't be an episode if I didn't, right? But we found out the queen is being affected by a Tanglefoot, and Malignus here is telling us to go get a skull as payment for his info. No problem, man. I've done this kind of thing before. So here's the skull in this grave behind Draenor Manor. I almost dug this up earlier, then thought better of it. Glad I didn't do that, but I expect it probably just would have stopped me, or I'd have it in my bank, I guess. The last guy who asked me for one of these is dead now, so tell me what I need to know. I'm done screwing around. So Malignus has kindly told us that we need a red vine worm, which we picked up earlier, red spider's eggs, and a fat snail, and bring them back to the nature spirit we just made and he's already heard about. All joking aside, there are 33 different items Morty here can ask us for, all of which are easily or fairly easily obtainable by us, with the one exception being the nature talisman. I'm really glad he didn't ask us for one of those because my options for obtaining one are very limited. I can't really expect one off the rare drop table if I could even kill a creature that rolls it, and my next best options are from abyssal creatures, which I don't really have the combat levels nor the prayer level to tackle right now, or as a reward from Guardians of the Rift, which is a minigame I will only have a few chances of completion at due to my restrictions, and although I haven't looked into it, I'm sure there's something I want more from that than a nature talisman. If I'm being honest, I'm betting we don't even have one by the time I get to the level to craft nature runes. I think he also said something about selling a cat. No? Yeah, no, he definitely did. We are looking for a snail with a blue shell or a black shell. The tan ones only drop thin snails, and we need a big old chunky boy. Alright, the justifiably coolest snail killed, and got our fat snail for the secret weapon, and the shell can be crafted into a snelm, which should be a decent amount of crafting XP once we clear all these guys out. Give the items to Nature Spirit, and, oh, we get a little cutscene. Wasn't expecting that. And our secateurs are magical. We can use them to kill the Tanglefoot that is afflicting the queen. Let's get to it. The Tanglefoot infestation, I suppose, is here next to the Cosmic Altar on Xanaris. It's on the moon, remember. I think we can get back here after the quest. Hell, I hope so, because I don't want to pass up the XP of these little tangles. Big boy Tanglefoot here. Ooh, shit, he is super dangerous to us. I think he can hit up to like 12s on us, so you know what's up. We're flinching this dude. Assuming I can get him stuck. Jeez. Okay, he's hooked. This is gonna take a minute. Well, that didn't take nearly as long as I expected. Alright, we have the Queen's Golden Secateurs. I guess that was her issue. I kind of skimmed the dialogue. I have no idea what's wrong with her. This is really just about the fairy rings. Golden Secateurs returned for 3.5 thousand farming, 2,000 attack, and 1,000 magic. Attack level 42 and farming level 21. We also get to keep the Magic Secateurs, which, when wielded, give us an additional 10% to herbs, allotments, hops, and a few other things. Hey Martin, here you got some more crop problems, my guy. So we'll have to kill like 20 in-game minutes while Martin like thinks or grows some crops or plays Jenga or something. But anyways, I'm exploring some fletching options for a little bit. Level 9, we can now make plain crossbows, which I bought the supplies for a handful back in the White Wolf Tunnel. Level 10. Level 11, opal tip bronze. Yes, we will. Once we get some opals, that is. Okay, we talked to Martin again, and I honestly have no clue what he said. All I know is that we need to go back to Xanaris to progress the quest. Cold shoulder, eh? Guess I need to look around. Holy shit, what is happening? I get they're trying to show me the broken stuff, but why in the world is it so close to the viewpoint? Just making an overhead scene. Yeah, this gives me a much better perspective. Just why? So we found this cryptic script in the rubble, and we have to match it to another bit that we've seen around Xanaris, apparently. Ah, that's where I'd seen that. Wait, what does it say? Oh, right. So now that our confidence has been stoked by the spirit of discovery, we can talk to the Godfather again now. And he says a bunch of gobbledygook about the Queen I'm not going to read, but I caught the coordinator in there, so let's go talk to her. Okay, so we ask her about the certificate. Wait, no, there's the fairy rings, go back. Yes, just give me the codes, please. And with that simple dialogue, we have unlocked access to the fairy ring teleportation system, which provides us with a staggering 46 destinations for instantaneous movement. This one quest will save me literally hundreds of hours of walking time by the end of this series, and is probably the biggest time-saving quality of life upgrade we will ever get. You might even say, this changes everything. So we won't be able to totally complete this quest yet. We need 40 thieving, 49 farming, and 57 herb lore, none of which we have, and only one of which can quickly be obtained. But we can still do a few more steps here in the quest, so we're going to finish up what we can and then move on to preparing for Fremennik Trials, another very important quest for me. So I was too busy joking around about the weird symbols we found, but once translated they give us a string of coordinates that will lead us to the fairy hideout where the Queen is recuperating. So we just put in these 4 coordinates in order and take a little sightseeing trip around Gielinor real quick. Here we are. Cool place. I wish I'd have more applications in game. Anyways, we just need to talk to Fairy Nuff and Very Wise here to find out that the Queen is still sick because the Golden Secateurs, can't wait till I don't have to say that word anymore, were never returned to her and the Godfather still has them. So we need to return and pickpocket them off him and bring them to the Queen so she can start getting better. Well, we don't have 40 thieving to be able to do this, and I imagine our pinky finger is about as big as his pocket, so here goes nothing. I think that's all for today. The Fairy Godfather threw us out of Xanaris, which is on the moon, so I'll see you guys back here in the next episode after I plummet back to the planet at several times the speed of sound like an orbital ballistic missile. Next episode will be playing Halo ODST. These must be the wrong notes. I gotta stop writing things in Xanarian. See you next time.